Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 9 of the anime series Show by Rock, and we are effectively picking up right where we left off. It is a week later, but the impending rematch of Crista and Plasmagica in a Battle of the Bands Mark II is about to unfold, and I found it really interesting that this episode, toward the beginning, we see Grateful King sort of prodding or even trying to instigate Dagger Morse to reveal what exactly the impetus is behind everything he's been doing, gathering all these world-renowned bands and trying to seemingly take them down one by one and, utilize the crystals that each of these, musical personalities hold and contain within themselves, the positive energy. He's trying to infuse it with dark energy, which he is just teeming with, by himself, singularly. But the question is, what exactly is the motive behind him doing this? Does he want to rule this musical realm, Midi City? Does he want to conquer the universe? Temper the souls of the artistic flames inside them and everything like that? It remains to be seen exactly what it is that Dagger Morse is after. But I think it also kind of, solidifies the speculation in any case that Grateful King might be on the side of good and might actually be opposing Dagger Morse's actions for him to be prodding as he does. We also see that, not to be undone, Maple and Angelica are going and contacting the band Zura to try to find any information out about Grateful King that they can, try to uncover information about him. I guess they're wondering, maybe as we viewers are, whether or not he's a supportive role, or is he on, what side is he on, basically, good or bad, that kind of thing. And I find that all highly intriguing, and I can't wait to see, as we continue, ramping up toward the end of this series, what role he will play, in fact. But of course, you have the Plasmagica girls. They are practicing once again, and they've got it once again sort of speciously in their minds that they have to put on a good show, not just a good song, but they have to have performance. They have to have something special to make them stand apart from Crista. I mean, guitar flipping dance moves, and they are just failing spectacularly at practicing and putting into practice all these different kinds of things. You got Moe, flipping the drumsticks, and again, the guitar flipping, and, Shiana's trying to do all these kinds of dance moves, and she is tripping over herself and everything, running right into Crow at one point when, Shingen Crimsons comes through the door. And they very much get under the ire of Rome once again, who is, I think this hails back to his history with that other band and that other lead singer guy. They seem to be very much about the performance, the show, putting on a facade, not just, sort of falling back on the haunches of their artistic prowess with the music and everything like that, the melody and the lyrics. And that seems to be very much what Rome is about. As an artist myself, both, drawing and writing and everything like that, I can see where Rome's coming from. I mean, the body and soul is the art, is the message it contains, not the game face, not the, wrapping it up in a pretty bow and trying to sell it off to the world. Of course, in the music industry, there is a large sort of emphasis on the commercial, and, he doesn't want to see music be processed and pasteurized. He wants to see it be truly artistic and everything like that. And maybe that is what Dagger Morse wants to snuff out. Maybe it's a sort of commentary on that, music production engine, the artist versus the sort of machine, if you will, or the man. Who knows? It's just my speculation, but of course, once Shingen Crimsons are, chanting their bravado once again, Plasmagica just sort of spirits away, and on we get to the, Battle of the Bands. And you could have kind of predicted that, this time out, with everything riding on this particular scenario, Plasmagica was going to come across as the winner, and I really loved their song. It kind of harkened back to some early J-pop when I was first getting into it, and even the Mexican band Rebelde, or rather RBD. Rebelde was the show they were in. But, that kind of cool, really interesting pop, and I love the lyrics to the song and everything like that. And you see that lead chick, Rosia, or whatever her name was, from Crista, just having a meltdown. And I gotta say, too, all through this episode, from Choo Choo at the beginning, with her head bowed and everyone's trying to get her attention, that, and as well as I was speculating in my previous episode discussion video that Rosia was potentially coming under the influence of dark energy. I mean, they were really sort of throwing the red herrings left and right throughout this episode, trying to get you to think maybe somebody was coming under that dark influence and a monster was about to creep into the episode. A battle was about to ensue. And quite frankly, none of that happened, which was a pleasant surprise in a way because of how everything else played out. Essentially, what I found really just absolutely mind-blowing, though, came toward the end. As Krista has lost, and their manager's trying to be supportive, and he's not really understanding why they're so upset, and then Dagger Morse himself shows up, and he grabs that little guy, and he's like crushing his skull. He's like, "You're fired. I don't ever want to see you again." You're thinking he's going to disintegrate this mother, And then the guy takes off running, but the cruelty and the just freakiness doesn't end there, because he is literally dripping and that dark energy is coursing through him as he approaches Krista, and he pulls those jewels, those crystals of artistry and music and melody right out of him. He twists them to a dark red color, like almost signifying blood. And the last shot, it's like, did he just slaughter them because they failed? I mean, he's never going to employ the use of them again, but did he create 4 dark monsters out of them, or did he actually kill them all? Whoa, things just got a hell of a lot more dramatic and serious with that ending. And, we know that there is this impending showcase that Plasmagica, the whole point of them getting in this Battle of the Bands was to solidify their taking part in that. Well, I guess Krista's out of the count now, and, I have to wonder if, as an extension of Angelica's going to Sora and trying to find information out about Grateful King, could this be planting the seeds of these bands that we've seen Plasmagica go up against? Could there be a unification forming? And maybe all of these bands, not just Shingen Crimsons and Plasmagica, could all of these bands at one point unite? And maybe they have to, but maybe, through the convenience of the situation, they decide to anyway, against Dagger Morse and whatever darkness he represents. Because I have a feeling, based on what we saw at the end of this episode, there's a hell of a lot more darkness and just pain and anguish that he wants to spread across this world and this universe, whatever you want to call it, than we even saw coming to this point. And it may take all of these bands uniting together. And it's interesting that, once again, Mr. Berry is out for the count. Could there be, I started to speculate as we were, revealed to that fact, could there be some sort of stoppage on Dagger Morse's side? Whether it's Grateful King, who is an influence and he's got to keep it in hiding and under wraps, or could it have been another influence that Dagger Morse has now picked up on and he's trying to keep silenced for fear of Xian building up that prowess enough to take him down? It could go any which way, basically, by the end. And so I'm just left enamored, and I'm at the edge of my seat. I'm like pitched WTF style, what is going to happen next? Is the next episode going to pick up with this next showcase event? Or is there going to be some more, characters in between? Are we going to see a mustering of the troops of all these bands? I can't wait to find out. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 9 of Show by Rock, if you've seen it, and where you think the story may be going from here. I'd love to hear from you. I love having the conversation with you guys in the comments, as always. And so, yeah, otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.